Pag-usapan natin ang mga buy-bust operation ng Philippine National Police or National Bureau of Investigation, CIDG, at iba-ibang law enforcement agencies. Under Section 21 of the Comprehensive Dangerous Act, Drugs, Republic Act 9165, no? Ito yung tinatawag nating drugs law. Dapat meron tayong chain of custody rule. Ano yung chain of custody rule? Ang chain of custody, ang purpose niyan is to maintain the integrity of the evidence in drug cases para merong full proof na evidence against those committing the crime. And also, para hindi ma-charge yung mga arresting officer ng planting of evidence. Of course, pag hindi nag-comply sa Section 21 na ito, madidismiss ang kaso ng isang akusado because it violates the law on the chain of custody. And ano ang chain of custody? Ang chain of custody is the duly recorded, authorized movement and custody of seized drugs at each stage. From the time na seize yung drugs to the time na na-receive and to the time na nadala sa laboratory at madala sa korte for safekeeping and later on destruction. So, pag merong buy-bust operation, ano ang dapat gawin ng law enforcement agencies? You take note that one, palaging present yung suspect or later on accused when there is an inventory of the drugs seized. So hindi mo pwedeng dalhin yung suspect sa headquarters habang binibilang nyo or nag-inventory kayo ng drugs doon sa lugar kung saan siya nahuli. Dapat present siya. So, ang first link under the law is the seizure and marking. So, i-mark yan ng mga ahente ng law enforcement agencies. Mark in the sense na lalagyan nila ng tag o lalagyan yung mga pieces of evidence ng markings doon sa plastic bag mismo, etc. So that is the first stage. The second stage is ito turn over yung illegal drugs ng apprehending officer to the investigating officer. You take note that the apprehending officer is not the same as the investigating officer. So that is the next step. The third step is yung investigating officer dadalhin sa forensic chemist for laboratory examination and confirmation. Of course, yung forensic chemist will determine whether the drugs are illegal, whether the drugs are true, authentic, etc. And the fourth is the turnover and submission of the marked illegal drugs seized by the apprehending officers and examined by the forensic chemist to the court. So, 4 na stages na yan. You must also remember that doon sa site ng arrest, dapat may inventory and photographs. And with the presence of the accused, his representative, an elected official, a representative of the DOJ or the National Prosecution Service, at media. In People versus Rosario and People versus Lim, sabi ng ating Korte Suprema, if the arresting officers do not comply with the chain of custody rule, then they will fail to identify the corpus delicti of the crime, meaning yung body of the crime. At an improperly identified corpus delicti will result to reasonable doubt, and the case will be dismissed from the courts.